The truth about JacksFitness will be revealed in George Porridge's new YouTube video. I was scrolling the good old Instagram reels, getting my daily dose of discrimination, and then I stumbled upon this, a glorified trailer for George Porridge's new video with JacksFit. They are both UK fitness influencers. If you don't know, these two collaborate all the time. Jack has become famous for not making a lot of progress, for struggling to eat, and being a absolute rage baiter. But you guys already know that because you guys love watching the JacksFit videos. They get way more views than everything else I make, which is why I continue to make them. And before we watch this new video exposing JacksFit, the truth about his natural status, eating problems, and hate, let's check out some of the comments. Jack, stop the trolling. This whole thing just seems like damage control for someone who comes across as very unlikable. You can't justify his 3 AM live streams constantly rage baiting and being a weirdo. Come on, Jack has literally uploaded videos of him physically taking MK677 pills and talked multiple times about its effects on his own channel. 10 minutes of completely undermining Jack's terrible choices, completely ignoring his lack of mid/long-term consistency in training and eating, topped with the cherry of lying about him being natty, cursing the algorithm gods for even recommending this one. To be honest, take some accountability. That last comment was very intense. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, we all know Jack rage baits. Jack knows that in the modern day on short form content, the way to get views is to rage bait. The reason he hasn't made progress, the reason why he gets the hate, is because he is simply not consistent enough in the gym. But let's see what he says in this video.
Yeah, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so we're going to do a completely honest interview with JacksFit.
Honest! The keyword is honest. Honest like a politician, or honest like Hussein Farhat with his natural status? Let's find out.
Why do you struggle to eat so much? Why can't you eat any food?
Well, I feel like as a very unathletic person, I spent most of my time just sitting in my room, and yeah, I basically was gaming for hours, didn't eat much food, and also I've got a lot of allergies. A lot of people might not know this, but I've got quite a few allergies, which made it very hard for me to find foods that I actually enjoyed and I could actually eat.
You never drink like milk when I'm with you, and if you're into bodybuilding, protein shakes is like one of the most easy things to get calories down and get protein in, and you don't have them at all because he just doesn't drink milk.
No, I drink milk and I just feel sick after.
Are we using a milk allergy or lactose intolerance as an excuse for why you can't bulk up and why you can't have protein shakes? Mate, I don't know if you know this, but come closer, come a bit closer. There are vegan protein powders. There are protein powders out there, like protein isolate, with no lactose. So even if you're lactose intolerant, you can still consume them.
Now, you say a lot online about how much you say you eat, but how much do you actually eat in a day?
If I'm in a routine, I'm motivated, I'm on a good bulk, I mean, I could eat anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 calories, but I mean, I don't really have any motivation, you know. I'm probably eating like 2,000 calories a day.
Sometimes
honestly,
less, I'd say.
Yeah.
Though.
Probably less than that, yeah.
I do believe him. Most of the time, he's not on a routine and he's not eating 3,000-4,000 calories. However, there have been periods of time where JacksFit has gained a lot of body weight, where he'll gain like 5 kilos in the span of a month. So there definitely are periods where he is eating the right amount of food, but also a lot of periods where he is severely under eating. I've always theorized, and so is Greg Doucet, he was the first person who had this thought, that Jack may have some kind of eating disorder. I am so disappointed that he hasn't talked about it. Maybe it's hard for him to talk about. I know that it's a big mental health issue for a lot of people, but it's the only thing that can explain just how underweight he truly was and is for a very long time. He doesn't have to talk about it if he doesn't want to. I'm just saying that would be a very good explanation.
I think that's the main thing, is not his train, and everyone says, oh, he doesn't train hard. I genuinely think that you could train worse than Jack and still make progress if you ate properly.
I have over an hour of video documenting and critiquing his training. His training sucks! He'll do like 2 exercises and leave. Trains to mild discomfort. His bench press hasn't improved in months. It's both. If your training is shit and your diet, obviously you can't grow. Your training is where you get the stimulus for muscle growth. If your training is atrocious, you're not going to grow a lot. The reality is, Jack needs to improve both. But it's not terrible. I would say the only problem with his training is that he doesn't seem to train hard enough. But if he just started training harder, I reckon he'd see amazing progress.
How do you handle all the hate that you get probably the most hate in the whole of the UK every single day.
I mean, I feel like I've not really done anything to justify the hate.
Oh, Jack, you've done collaborations with stars, for crying out loud. You've made videos where you constantly pretend to train hard to get views, where you randomly decide you're gonna start cutting or you're gonna do a calisthenics challenge. You constantly rage bait, and you do it on purpose. You do it because that's why you get views. The sad reality is, in the modern day, if you want to get a lot of views on social media, the best way to do it is to pretend to be an idiot or pretend to say and do the most outlandish things you can possibly think of. I understand wanting to get views, but when you are trying to get views, it's perfectly fine to milk a topic like I am. Just milk the JacksFitness cow. It's perfectly fine to do some milking every now and then. However, you still have to have some morals. I would collaborate with Jeff Nippert, for example, because he's the GOAT. Would I collaborate with Jeffrey Epstein? Probably not, because he's made some very morally incorrect decisions. He made apology videos after he collaborated with his OnlyFans girls, and then did more collaborations afterwards. And he did that multiple times. When he was at the peak of his popularity, he would do the same thing over and over again, make apology videos where he's laughing at the camera and not cut that out for the sake of rage baiting. Jack, I just cannot defend you on this. I'm sorry.
The hate. I mean, I feel like I've made some questionable decisions. However, I feel like I could be in a very different position if I didn't chase the views and clout.
The reality is, when you go on a weight loss, or in his case, a weight gain journey, you can get so many views and build such an incredible following. Take Brentley G. He has, like 1 million followers on Instagram just for documenting his weight loss journey. If Jack did something similar, he'd have a lot of views. Would he have gone trending just as much as Brentley G? Maybe not. But he would be in a very similar position, but he'd have way more respect, he'd have way more true fans behind him, he wouldn't have lost his original My Protein sponsorship, and he'd be in a very good position.
And the first question is, so is this all an act? Is it all rage bait?
Yes! End of video. Okay, let's see what he has to say.
I mean, I do weigh 65 kilograms, but I am a bit of a weakling when it comes to the gym. It's been really hard to gain any sort of strength.
That's because you're very underweight, Jack. You don't have to gain a lot of weight to make progress in the gym. I've made some of my best progress where I've stayed the same body weight for months at a time, but I wasn't very underweight. I was still about 70-ish kilos, but I was 5'8". So I was a lot shorter than Jack. Again, he just needs to eat more. If he just ate more, he'd gain the strength.
And maybe it is a bit rage bait, but at the current stage I am right now, I don't actively try to rage bait my viewers.
Jack, you made a video and a video series talking about your journey to get shredded as someone who's already very underweight.
Here's the thing, I train with Jack all the time, and let me tell you, he does actually try. It's just, he is not strong. My take on it is that Jack has the worst genetics of all time, and I know you can not just blame that, but if someone ate as much food as Jack, and if someone trained as hard as Jack, they would make way more progress than Jack does.
JacksFit does not have the worst genetics of all time. I feel like a lot of the time people use genetics as an excuse for why they have made a lot of progress in the gym, even when in reality it's just because they haven't been very consistent. I don't have very good genetics. I can bench over 100 kilos, but do I look like I can bench press over 100 kilos? Do I look it? Not really, but I'm still sort of strong. I've made decent progress. The reality is Jack still doesn't eat enough. He's still very underweight and he's still not consistent enough.
So the most frequent question we get always is, are you natural?
Is JacksFit natural? The answer is no. We already know he's not natural because he's told us on multiple occasions. He has told us on his Instagram story about how he's cycling on and off MK677.
Despite what people believe throughout loads of comment sections, people saying I'm on MK, I'm on test, I'm on trend, 10 years training. Yes, I am in fact natural. I did make a few videos joking that I was on MK and test, but obviously that was just for engagement and views.
I don't do anything to deserve the hate. Proceeds to directly lie straight to the lens of the camera. Come on, man, we know you've taken MK. I don't think you've taken tests or anything else, but we know you've taken MK. You've literally told us this. The fact that George has probably seen all the posts, all the live streams where Jack has admitted to taking MK677, just sits there and ignores it and pretends like he hasn't, just proves to me how this is all a big, like, bullshit sellout thing just to get a bunch of views. I'm not watching the rest of this video. This video was a cluster of lies, and if he just told the truth, I would have been perfectly fine with this video, but all he did was lie the entire time. But anyway, that is the end of this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. He's blonde now!
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
That's right, JacksFit is blonde now, but more importantly, he is back on the grind for the 20th time? I'm not too sure. But anyway, let's check out some of Jack's most recent training and dieting to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and what he can do to improve. Let's get started.
This is a full day of eating as a gym bro on a high protein bulk.
Okay, so the first problem here is the high protein bulk. You may be wondering why that's a bad thing and why I'm sitting like this. And it's because I can. It's my video. More importantly, a high protein bulk is... I forgot something. Hold up. Can't believe I forgot Stampy. It's not a Nerdy Ant 64 video without him. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, this is Stampy, and
The reason why a high protein bulk is not the best idea for someone like JacksFit is protein is very filling. So when you prioritize protein, which you should be prioritizing anyway, but when you overdo your protein, it makes it a lot harder to get in your calories overall for the day. So actually, I would recommend a more moderate protein for your bulks if you're somebody who struggles to get the food in. For example, if you weigh similar to me, for example, 76 kilos, then instead of getting 160, 170 grams of protein in, going for 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight, maybe instead try just 1.6 grams per kilo, something more like 120 grams of protein. You're going to be a lot less full, which is going to allow you to consume your carbs and your fats to properly bulk up. But anyway, the first meal is very healthy. I'm not hating on the first meal. I just simply think he overdoes it on protein sometimes, which can make you feel full and makes it harder to hit your calorie goal.
Then I had these small yogurt drinks. They don't actually fill it to the top, so what I do is fill the top with olive oil, and it just adds extra calories.
Ooh, that's a very smart way to get your extra calories in. Basically spiking your yogurt drink with olive oil. Although, what I will say is olive oil is great for bulking because of all the calories. At the same time, it's very bad for cutting. If you are cutting, do not use way too much oil in your cooking, because a lot of the times, people think they made a nice, maybe 500 calorie dinner, but it's actually 1500 because of the liter of olive oil you put in it.
Then meal number 2, we're going for high protein once again. 60 grams of protein in 6 kebabs and 600 calories. Then in between meals, I just had a banana, easy carbs and 100 calories. And then I had the small yogurt drinks once again. This has to be the ultimate bulking hack. 250 calories in one of these small drinks. A lot of people are going to say that it's really unhealthy, but at this point, I just need to get the calories down.
Actually, olive oils and your vegetable oils are actually decently good for you. That's right, folks. The seed oils are going to kill you is a complete myth, and they're perfectly fine to digest. Assuming you don't overdo it on calories and end up being all fat and chubby like me at the moment. I'm peak bulk, 77 kilo peak bulk. I'm feeling nice and fat.
And then meal number 3, I just had one whole garlic bread baguette. I know, probably not the healthiest, but it was full of calories. And then the final meal of the day, we're having tuna pasta with cheese. And this meal came to 1,100 calories. Follow for more.
Yeah, bro definitely needs a new barber. As for his day of eating, it was fine. It was very healthy. It's better than my day. My day of eating is like a chocolate bar, some tuna, maybe some yogurt. I don't have the best diet. But at the same time, I do get my calories in, which is very important. It's a very important part of your diet. Jack is not eating this every day, which is the reason why he's not seeing consistent weight gain. In fact, in a recent video I saw, he actually lost weight.
I have, in fact, lost
lost weight.
It went back down to like 61 kilos. For context, his highest weight was 65, 66. Jack's problem really is just consistency, doing the same thing every day. Also, on a side note, I am gonna try and be nicer in today's video. I did see a video of him talking about his mental health, which when you're trying to rage bait constantly and you're being very ingenuine in your posts and you have to post all the time, which causes hate but also causes views, which makes you money, which is how he's surviving without actually having a full-time job besides this, it can become a very depressing situation, which is why I encourage Jack to take the gym seriously, stop rage baiting, and actually make gains in the long run, because then he'll get his sponsorships, he'll get his deals, he'll get some respect back from a lot of people that he's lost it from, and I think he'll feel a lot better mentally in the long run. But anyway, let's check out some more of his training, specifically his back training.
I've been lacking a lot of motivation recently, but we're at the gym, we're gonna get it done. It's a pull day, so let's
take out one of those exercises and do a chest supported row with more flared elbows for your upper back. That comment pretty much sums up this entire back day. He does a lot of narrow grip pulling, which is more for your lats. But if you want to hit the upper back, which is responsible for all that nice thickness, you actually want to flare your elbows out more when you pull. Do some more horizontal pulls. Bro, his own coach in the comments section is roasting Jack's legs. What a time to be alive, folks.
I usually train legs 3 times a year, and as you can see, they look like chopsticks. Well, today that changes. This is my leg day as a gym bro trying to bulk up. Ow. Oh shit, shin conditioning. Step away from the machine. Yeah, my hamstrings are very underdeveloped. My knees, they get... Oh, where do I hold it?
Wherever you want.
Here.
There you go. Back up. Nice.
This is the most sus machine I have ever seen in my life. It's sus.
Well, you're sus, man.
Only sus people do this. And girls.
That's it, man. No. Alright, his leg day was pretty bad. Why was it bad? His leg day was not bad, you stupid crocodile munching Australian! You see, me, in my everlasting stupidity, somehow didn't see the part of the video where he did the leg press. So I then went on for like 2 or 3 minutes criticizing JacksFit for not doing his compound lifts and not training his glutes and not training the outer heads of the quads properly and all that fun stuff. And I don't know how I missed it. I really don't. I did watch the full video multiple times before recording and during recording. So sorry for my stupidity. Anyway, back to the video. But anyway, that is the end of this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. I've made way too many videos on JacksFits, so subscribe to the channel for more videos on our boy JacksFitness. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. We are back on the YouTube grind. And what better way to get the views up than to talk about JacksFitness? If you don't know, JacksFitness is a British influencer who is famous for slacking off and not being very consistent with his training. He was a very skinny kid, like me when I first started, trying to bulk up, put on some mass, and gain some weight. So he started lifting the weights, right? He started lifting the really heavy weights, but then on the way to, becoming absolutely diced and shredded and jacked, he collaborated with OnlyFans models, did a bunch of dodgy shit, pissed off a lot of his friends, and just wasn't a very good guy, and he really showed his true colors multiple times. Anyway, now he is simply rage baiting us.
I am officially quitting bench press. What I've realised is bench press doesn't increase your strength.
With his inconsistency, his weight is going up and down constantly. He actually takes MK677 as well, which is a performance-enhancing drug, which is a whole other controversy in of itself. But the point is, JacksFitness is quite the controversial figure. So let's look at some of his recent content and see if it's good, bad, or ugly. Let's get started.
It's officially been 1 week since I started my new bulking diet, so it's time to do a weight update. If you haven't seen the first video, go and check it out, but my starting weight was 61.15 kg. And 1 week later, we're weighing 61.45 kg. So that means in week 1 of the bulk, we've gained 0.3 kilograms. It may be a small start, but we're going to take all the little wins we can.
For Jack, because he is still a bit more on the underweight side, even though his BMI says he's technically in the healthy range, gaining a bit more weight per week is fine, but for most of you, I would eat in a 200 or 300 calorie surplus to slowly build muscle, perhaps gaining a bit less than half a pound per week, because muscle growth is a very slow process. You want most of the weight to be muscle growth, which is why you don't want to eat way too many calories and you end up putting on all this fat and you start looking like Donald Trump.
These are all the exercises I'm doing this winter to grow massive arms. Let's get into it. Okay, so for front delts, we are doing a machine shoulder press. You can use dumbbells, but I prefer to use a machine because it gives you more stability. And I know a lot of people will say, yeah, but that's for shoulders, that's not arms. I just like to do shoulders and arms together. I'll be doing front delt, side delt, bicep, tricep, and forearms.
So do I, Jack. I like doing shoulders and arms together, although based on how much free time you have, I don't think you need to train forearms. You know, because of all the egg beating you do. You have a bowl and you beat eggs a lot, which is what this motion is, obviously, which is why you don't really need to build forearms. I mean, you can train them if you want, but I don't bother because you get a lot of indirect stimulus from like every other upper body exercise you do, but it is still technically better to train them, so I would still recommend it to people. The shoulder press is a perfectly fine exercise. The dumbbell version, barbell version, all of them will give you pretty much very similar, if not the same hypertrophy. Again, all studies done on free weights versus machines have concluded them to be roughly equal in terms of muscle growth. Now, yes, there are theoretical reasons why my machines might be better, but again, it's more of a preference thing. Also, keep in mind that a lot of machines suck because they have no range of motion or because they just feel awkward and the fixed movement pattern is uncomfortable for a lot of people. So whether you use a machine or a free weight is going to depend on the exact machines you have at home and a lot of just personal preference, really.
Okay, then for side delts, I like to do lateral raises. You can do them with dumbbells or on a cable machine. I just prefer dumbbells. Okay, for biceps, I actually do 2 exercises. Firstly, I start with the barbell curl. And I use a barbell rather than dumbbells because I feel like it gives a better stretch.
No, it doesn't. They're exactly the same thing. The barbell curl or the dumbbell curl are literally the exact same exercise. It does not give a better stretch. As for Jack's form, it's fine. A little bit too much swinging, but it's not a big deal.
And the second bicep exercise I do is hammer curls. A lot of people don't do these, but it works the inner bicep and it works a bit of your forearms. And of course, I am trying to get massive forearms.
By inner biceps, he probably means the brachialis muscle, which is actually underneath your biceps. As you can see here, when you supinate and pronate, it changes the length of the bicep. You can see it contract. When fully supinated, it's generally more biceps. When you're in neutral grip or you're pronated, it's generally more of the brachioradialis in the forearm, the brachialis, than it is the bicep. So yeah, doing hammer curls and then regular curls in the same day is a great way to get good overall arm development. I even personally do it myself.
Okay, for triceps, I just like to do a tricep pull down with the rope attachment. Last exercise I like to do for arms is to work my forearms, and it is a cable curl on the preacher.
Overall, it was a pretty decent arm day. The only improvements I would make is maybe do a second tricep exercise, because you only need push downs, which does hit all 3 heads of the triceps well, but I would prefer to see at least one other kind of tricep exercise to potentially bias all the heads in some way. Other than that, perfectly fine arm day.
Today I've got some big news. I am officially quitting bench press.
No! JacksFitness is quitting bench press, guys. Oh no. The worst day. The apocalypse has come. The prophecy. When JacksFit stops bench pressing, all bodybuilders will fall to his power. Because apparently, he knows something that no one else knows and everybody knows is wrong. Apparently, only dumbbell press builds strength, because apparently if I do dumbbells like this or a barbell like this, it's substantially different somehow. No! If you know what powerlifting is, it's basically the sport of getting stronger. The main pressing movement they do is bench press, because yes, it does increase strength. Every exercise with weights increases strength in some way. All of them. This is not true. This is excuses for his lack of progression.
We're gonna see how much I can press today. Let's go, starting with the 12 kgs. Okay, now we're moving up to the big boy weights, 18 kilograms. I used to never be able to do this weight, and hopefully today we'll be able to do it for either 4 or 5 reps. I don't have a spotter, so if anything goes wrong, I'm just gonna have to chuck the weights.
That looks like that's just as dodgy as Eshe's and Footscray. That's not good. Alright. Elite ball knowledge required for that joke. So, the problem here is not what his upper body is doing. This is fine. So his lower body, his legs, are meant to be using leg drive when you kind of push off the floor so you can press more. That's perfectly fine, but your butt must remain on the seat. Stop trying to hip thrust your weights upwards when you're not doing a hip thrust, and make sure your butt stays on the bench.